Hi, it's early. I'm in the kitchen having my morning coffee. Okay. hmm Folgers. Best thing about getting up. That's what they used to say anyway. Have my morning coffee. And I was thinking to myself, I'm getting a lot of questions about the election results and specifically the different age brackets and why they voted the way they did. Okay. Now, if you're familiar with the breakdown, um, Trump carried every age bracket except one. He carried the Gen Xers, the Gen Zers, he even carried the millennials. The one he didn't carry was the baby boomers. Those my age. Those my age. And people were saying, Carter, man, why do you think that is? Why do you think he didn't carry the baby boomers? So I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you, and it's very simple to figure out. People kind of stick with what they were raised with, okay? I call it nostalgia. Nostalgia. Well, think about what my generation was raised with. Television. Television. Um, and when it came to the news, that meant we watched the network news. That was it. I was a kid, there were only three networks. Now we have CNN, MSNBC, Attitude, and Fox. But those who are old, the baby boomers, um, they still turn to what they grew up with. We like it, it's comfortable. Unfortunately, what we grew up with is the worst possible source of news that you could possibly have. It is a cacophony of lies. All right, those four women who dominate the networks now, the ghastly Kaiten Collins, Kristen Welker, Lindsay with an E Davis, and the other one whose name I can never remember. Um, they, by the way, they don't belong on TV. They belong in a mental ward because they're psychotic with their hatred of all things conservative, and they spew nothing but vile accusations, totally unfounded. They weave them out of the whole web um, against conservatives. And unfortunately, people my age just sit there and soak it all in. You know, I have a neighbor who said, I'm voting against Trump because he touched that woman there, you know. I said, I think what was that young woman who's come out now? It happened back in the 90s. I said, well, I know you got that from the network news, so you don't realize the woman that got the wrong ear, and it could not have happened when she said, because she named a place that Trump didn't even own then. And besides, maybe the network news didn't quite make it clear to you. She was one of Epstein's women. So at any rate, she was not the Vestal Virgin who guards a sacred flame. But no, to baby boomers, it was just Trump touched that woman. Well, that's the problem with the baby boomers. Now, fortunately, all that is going to come to an end for two reasons. One, the baby boomers ain't getting any younger. Okay, so with each election now, the Democrats have to realize their numbers will fall. Their numbers will continue to fall from that group and rise from the others. You'd think that would kind of alarm the Democrats, but I don't think that they're. I don't think they're aware enough or that they care enough to even have that matter, because they're so, I'm going to say it, Marxist control. Okay, and here is the other problem they have. A little graphic for you here. Okay, the mainstream media is done. I just saw a headline this morning, CNN has already started its firing. You're going to see Caitlin Collins go. She needs help. The woman needs help, and the best thing that happened to her is get fired and go into treatment. Nobody has that kind of look affixed to their face all the time. It's normal. And the screeching and the anger from the others, the same thing. But the mainstream media is dead. Why? Because every other generational group gets their news from the alternative media, and so should you. Don't even think of turning on the mainstream media. Turn on Free Republic. Turn on the Duran, okay? These are great sources of news and information. They're right across the board. Of course, Steve Bannon's War Room, great sources of information. Maybe they're going to be a little more opinionated. Patrick Bet-David, watch him. That's where to get the news, because you're going to get the real news, and you're going to get fair and balanced opinion. Of course, they have an opinion, and that's fine. So do you. You can sort it out. The difference between them and the dying mainstream media, the moribund mainstream media, is the alternative media lets you know, look, we have a dog in this fight. Here's what it is, but here's what's really going on. So that's it. That's my message for today. Got up early to give it to you. Jettison the mainstream media. Focus on the alternative media. You're going to get the full facts, the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, plus some good analysis and commentary that's going to help you make up your mind the direction our country has to go, just as every generational group except the baby boomers did this time around. Stay strong.